Climbing, climbing, climbing. I used to love climbing as a kid. Trees, tree houses, bunk beds, the thin hallway with two close walls that I could spread eagle and climb. Nowadays, climbing's evolved or devolved into rage games. You can call them difficult or challenging, but at the end of the day, they're made so the developer can sit back and watch you suffer. Yeah, oh, good job on those 30 minutes of tedious and heart-wrenching. One specific slope I've meticulously made, so it's a domino effect on all the way. To me, these games feel pointless. It feels like I'm running up those Penrose stairs, hence why I've never played any of them. So, why am I talking about this? Well, there's been a question on my mind, especially due to the influx in rage climbing games over the past few years, with Getting Over it sort of being the magnum opus to this trend. It was huge. Even streamers or YouTubers you would never expect to play a game like this decided to hop on this trend to check it out. Most eventually gave into the rage and threw in the towel, most likely to avoid high blood pressure at the age of 30, while a few stuck out to the end, and even a fraction of those get so invested to the point where they want to speedrun the game. So my question is, why? What makes these people want to stick around with these borderline torturous experiences? And what keeps them coming back for more? Well, the only way to know is with first-hand experience. And no, I'm not giving fucking money to Getting Over it. So we're gonna play something a little bit different. White Knuckle caught my eye when I saw the trailer for the game. Its edgy, crunchy, and pixelated art style, along with the unique cardboard look of the hands, really caught my attention. To say the least, the gameplay in White Knuckle is a lot different from the other climbing rage games. Getting Over it takes precision, tight jumps, and a good understanding of the physics to really make progress in its unnaturally designed platforming. If you don't understand how the weight of your character feels, how the mechanics of your mouse works, or the physics of the pickaxe reacts to the environment, you're gonna struggle. Knowing how much force you should apply to jumps, being able to stay calm in situations and not panicking while trying to catch a ledge can prevent you from flinging yourself back off to the beginning of the game.
The pain I feel now is the happiness I had before. That's the deal.
A difficult game about climbing takes these principles and uses it in its own type of way, but is still clearly inspired by the basic design philosophy of Getting Over it. Again, having a good understanding of your character's weight, carrying momentum, and knowing where you have to grab in order for your fingers to not slip off the surfaces takes you far in this trek. Say you're new to a difficult game about climbing. You're not going to know that you have something similar to grip strength. What I mean by this is you can't swing yourself back and forth on the same rock for 3 minutes, preparing yourself for the perfect swing, because your hand will constantly lose its grip on whatever surface you're hanging onto. When you make it to this mossy rock for the first time, you can probably guess it's going to make you slide down. But you won't know that if you're fast enough, you can shimmy your way across to put yourself in a better position. A mechanic these two games have in common is you have one base mechanic, your hands or your pull sticky thingy. Well, White Knuckle has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. More than that. Imagine if the developer decided to add enemies to their game. Right as you're about to make a jump, a fucking fly comes and knocks you down. Imagine if you had to take breaks to eat in these games. What if you could die? What if you had to build your own pathways to climb on? Well, that actually doesn't sound that bad. At first. But it isn't as simple and easy as you might be thinking. Gimme. White Knuckle takes the mechanics from these two climbing games and really takes his own spin on the genre. Mainly by adding the threat of enemies. Yeah! What the fuck? Give me my bricks. Oh, he's carrying me. Actually, he's actually kind of helpful. Fuck. Resource management. And a flooding mechanic. That's water coming up, right? Yeah, that's definitely rising. So take everything that I was just talking about from this game and the previous two and add a time limit on it. Yeah, the stress is high. Not only while you're climbing do you have to risk falling down and losing progress, but you're on a time crunch as well. And if you take too long and fall into the water, you're dead. Oh, damn. Okay, so it just ends. But I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Let's bring you up to speed on the base mechanics. Think of a rock climbing game, but you're not on a safe rock wall. You're in a random industrial plant that wants to fucking kill you, with almost everything you can see being a climbable surface. From ladders to ledges, fan blades, fuck, and more importantly, these brick-like structures coming out of the wall. And thanks to this game's grayscale art style, they're very noticeable. To climb, you either left-click for your left hand, or right-click for your right hand. Ew, what the fuck? From there, you either lift yourself up and grab onto another surface, or you can jump from whatever you're holding onto. It's like if you took Mirror's Edge's parkour and made it a bit more floaty and a lot more fast-paced. And you also had every one of your appendages removed, besides your hands. The catch with the climbing system here is you have a stamina system. The more strain you put onto your hands by consistent climbing, jumping, and pulling yourself around, the more your hands will give out, as you can see by the red hue change. It's a really well-made system that's clear and concise. You can easily tell how much grip strength you have left, and it's also incredibly stressful. The amount of times that I clenched my ass cheeks and almost turned as red as my hands is immaculate. Knowing that I might lose my grip and fall down to this ever-rising water forces you to make some quick decisions under high pressure. Can I make it to that ledge for safety, or should I risk quickly going to my inventory for some
beans?
Beans? What are beans used for? Well, let's go over the canned beans, as you can guess, instantly refill your stamina. Pitons are... Wait.
Piton.
Piton.
Pitons? Okay, dumbass name, I'm calling them pits. Pits are anchor points that you can place into any surface. They aren't good enough to hold your fat ass on their own though, so you need to hammer it in with 1, 2, 3, bada whoop! There's also an electric variation of this pit that automatically drills itself into place. Rebars are more anchor points, which you can throw into surfaces rather than hammering them. You need to make sure you're at a reasonably straight angle at whatever surface you want to throw the rebar at, because any slanted angle will cause the bar to ricochet. At least it's more consistent than COD's ricochet. Rope rebars are the same as rebars, but they drop a climbable rope along with it, which can really help in tense situations. Explosive rebars are more offensive rebars, which can be used to kill things as you please. Listen, I know your ex sounds like a good target, but come on, let's obey the laws here, please. Bricks, which are also offensive throwables that break on impact. And lastly, your trusty dusty hammer, which is an essential tool, allowing you to hammer pits into walls and also hammer dumb fuck bugs in the face. Along with these tools, you also have a handful of consumables that have a variety of effects on you, like crushing a slug grub allows you to climb onto any surface without the need of a ledge or a pit, at the cost of adding another victim to your homicide account. No big deal. And that majorly increases your jump height and speed for a short duration. Speaking of items, resources have to be managed. If you want, you can use the items in a come and go, done and dusted type of fashion, but if you find yourself in a rough patch, you'll be left hung and dry. Be a hoarder and you'll start over encumbering yourself, which slows your overall momentum, velocity, and jump height. With all this combined, resource management, time crunching, quick decisions, you get a really stressful yet really addictive cycle. There's always something to learn through each failed climb. Your inventory works as a bubble, with 2 smaller bubbles on each side. Each of the smaller bubbles acting as your left and right pockets, and your overall bubble acting as your overall storage. While scaling walls and ceilings, eventually you'll learn to hotkey your items instead of taking the time to open your inventory and manually removing them from your inventory. But with smaller items like beans, you'll learn to stack them all in one spot, so they're very easy and quick to remove. Trying to quickly hammer pits into surfaces is definitely one of the more stress-inducing elements to this game, and learning to optimize this as much as possible can seriously make or break runs. I found out that pressing 2 swaps the items I have in my hands. Now, you can do little tricks like this. Efficient. Now, listen, I know there's a lot going on, lots of mechanics to learn, skills to master, so let's add more to the pile. With enemies. Oh, these bugs really struck a nerve in me. Dude, there's no fucking way. I don't know what it is about these white little It's okay, I'm white. Well, green. Fucks. But when I encounter one of these moth things, I don't know if it's some PTSD from all the mosquitoes that have devoured me on my camping trips, or just being out in public with strangers in general, but I do not like my personal space being invaded, especially repeatedly with clear determination and perseverance to accomplish one goal, pissing me off. To be honest, all 3 of these enemies felt like that. Except for this dude. He's pretty chill. I don't have to name him, so you can. These Half-Life 2 barnacle wannabes make a minefield in the tight corridors they reside in. And if you come in contact with any of their tentacles, they stick into you, pulling you in until they can do some London roleplay on you. And these gas bugs, which actually only killed me once, but when it did, I was stunned. So I know what adrenaline does now. What do you do? I'm just gonna drink you because I already have one of you. Dude! Oh my fucking god, I wanna oh my god. It's just the most infuriating experience. Not much else to say about these guys, besides the fact that I fucking hate them. You're a fucking asshole. Dude, what are you There are 2 regions, the silos and the pipeworks, each having their own unique themes and hazards. The silos is definitely the easier segment of the game, consisting of vertically concentrated climbs, and simple, sometimes helpful hazards, like giant fan blades. These give you a sort of low gravity effect. Just don't touch them, because, you know, humongous fan blades aren't the safest creations. Or the shadowed chambers that for some reason have spiked pistons that slam to the walls, which sucks because those are the walls you need to climb on. The pipeworks contain pipes. This region contains a lot more twists and turns, while also being a lot more of an open area. Now that sounds like it would be helpful, but there's a few reasons why that's just not the case. 1, there's bursting pipes, and the steam that occasionally pops out not only hurts you, but it knocks you off of whatever surface you're hanging onto. So if you don't react quickly and catch yourself, it's sending your ass back down to the floor, or even worse, the water. 2, it's more open, meaning you have to either use resources to cut corners or go all the way around town to make it through some of these rooms. Instead of just going up a straight vertical climb that can take you not even a dozen seconds to scale, but instead you're running across sewer rivers, scaling walls, and going all the way across the ceiling and back around to the exit. Do that, or use a rope rebar for a DIY time save. If you didn't use your ropes, you'd be glad that you saved them for the... This was the most infuriating and heart-wrenching sequence of the game. The final stretch, a race against the clock. As most dilapidated and flooding mega facilities, the elevator doesn't work and needs a reboot halfway through its lift. It's your job, whether you like it or not, to reset the machine with 3 buttons. Because it's life or death we're talking about here, it's not like you've got much of a choice. You have 3 long walls to scale horizontally across, and you don't have much time as the water is right behind you. This layout makes the use of rebars much more difficult unless you set them up beforehand, and the time that it takes for you to hammer pits into the walls, much more taxing. After multiple tries due to simple mistakes, once you finally flip the 3 buttons, it's not over. The water is still rising and you have to make it all the way back to the elevator before the countdown ends with you getting left behind. If you successfully made it, you win. You fix the elevator and you're on your way home. Or at least I wish that's what happened, because you have to do it again, in an even more difficult layout. I hope you still got resources left after that, because good luck is all I can say. And all that I got because I did it first try. I'm really glad I did, because if I didn't, I would probably have popped a fucking blood vessel. Fuck, dude, are you serious?
Alert. Airlock seal is priming. You have 30 seconds to return to the emergency personnel lift. Have a good day.
Fuck, I don't know what to do. What? Am I good? Oh my god, my heart is beating. Oh my god. I can't believe I spent almost 4 hours playing this fucking game. I stayed up way longer than I want to admit trying to beat this fucking shit-ass game. But now that I finally forced myself through the journey, let's go back to the question, the whole reason for this video. Why? What makes these people want to stick around with these borderline torturous experiences? And what keeps them coming back for more? Well, with first-hand experience now under my belt, I think the satisfaction and gratification of completing something so daunting, so punishing, and so exhilarating makes the payoff so worth it. Looking back to see how you progressed, and to know how much more skilled you got between each failure, and knowing that I can do this but even better next time, makes an addictive cycle. Add an honestly smooth and addictive movement system on top of that, a really unique art style and color scheme, with an uncommon yet riveting sound design that keeps each run feeling fresh, it makes you want to come back for more. Or I would say that if it wasn't for my unrelenting rage and need to prove myself that I can do something, if I wasn't a freaking dumbass. Fuck rage games.